I'm having a sleepover with guys tomorrow. Is it weird? Hi, I'm Amelia. I'm 17 and autistic, which means social norms sometimes feel like a foreign language to me. Not to say I can't pick up on things, but sometimes the subtleties just escape me. I usually take life in stride, but when it comes to social dynamics, especially in mixed groups, things can get interesting. This week, I'd planned a small sleepover at my house. The idea was simple: horror movies, snacks, and hanging out with friends. Originally, I'd invited a mix of people, but as luck would have it, none of my girlfriends could make it. Family trips, babysitting obligations, and early morning commitments robbed me of their company. That left me with just the guys: Liam, Oliver, Noah, and Ezra, my longtime friends. At first, I thought nothing of it. These guys have been my friends for years. We've been through countless group projects, summer hangouts, and even the occasional argument that ended in laughter. I trust them completely. But then, my parents raised their eyebrows when I mentioned it was just going to be me and the boys. A sleepover with all boys, Amelia? In the same room? Mom asked, her tone a mix of curiosity and concern. Yeah, what about it? I replied, genuinely puzzled. Dad cleared his throat, glancing at Mom. It's just unusual, that's all. Are you sure everyone's clear on what kind of sleepover this is? What do you mean? I tilted my head, genuinely not understanding their point. You're all sleeping in the same room, honey, Mom said delicately. Some people might interpret that differently. And just like that, a wave of doubt hit me. Could they be right? Would the guys see this as something more than just a chill hangout? I replayed our group chats in my head, looking for any hints that might have flown over my head. The truth was, I'd never thought of any of them that way except for that brief, awkward stint with Liam when we were 15. It lasted all of 2 weeks before we both decided we were better as friends. He was sweet but not my type, and I think he felt the same. Since then, we'd fallen back into our easy friendship without any weirdness. But what if the guys thought differently? I didn't want to make things awkward or ruin our friendship over a misunderstanding. So, I did what any socially anxious teenager would do. I texted the group chat. Me says, hey, just to clarify, this sleepover is purely for horror movies and snacks. Nothing else cool? Oliver says, obviously. Did you think we'd bring a Ouija board or something? Noah says, wait, are we summoning demons now? I didn't sign up for that. Ezra says she's just making sure we don't act like idiots. Relax, Amelia, we're not cavemen. Liam says, don't worry, we're chill. Besides, I've got dibs on the couch. Their responses reassured me, and I decided not to overthink it. Still, I made a few adjustments to the sleeping arrangements to keep things simple. The sitting room would be our base: 2 couches, a recliner, and a big, squishy rug for whoever didn't mind the floor. I'd sleep in the recliner, close to the door. The night of the sleepover arrived, and one by one the guys showed up. Liam was first, carrying an armful of snacks that could have fed a small army. Thought we'd need reinforcements, he said, dropping chips, popcorn, and candy onto the coffee table. Noah and Oliver arrived next, lugging a small speaker and a stack of old DVDs. We're going retro, Oliver announced, holding up the original Halloween. Ezra was last, fashionably late as always. He brought nothing but his sarcastic commentary, which, to be fair, was entertainment enough. Nice blanket fort, Amelia, he teased, gesturing to the extra blankets and pillows I'd piled in the corner. It's called being prepared, I shot back, rolling my eyes. Once everyone was settled, we started the movie marathon. The first pick was The Exorcist, which was as horrifying as I remembered. Ezra pretended to be unfazed, but I caught him flinching during the head-spinning scene. Liam, the horror enthusiast, was glued to the screen, while Noah and Oliver kept up a running commentary that made the whole thing less scary and more hilarious. By the time we got to A Nightmare on Elm Street, the atmosphere had shifted. We were all sprawled out in various states of comfort, passing around snacks and laughing at the ridiculous special effects. At one point, Oliver said, you know, if Freddy came after me, I'd just tell him I have crippling student debt. That'd scare him off. The room erupted in laughter. Around midnight, we decided to take a break and go for a walk. The cool night air was refreshing, and we ended up wandering around the neighborhood, sharing stories and cracking jokes. It was one of those moments that felt timeless, like we were the only people in the world. When we got back, the mood was lighter. We picked a less terrifying movie, scary movie ironically, and laughed until our sides hurt. By then it was nearly 2 a.m. and exhaustion was starting to set in. The sleeping arrangements went smoothly. Liam and Noah claimed the couches, Oliver took the floor, and Ezra curled up in the corner with a pile of blankets. I stuck to my plan and took the recliner, though I ended up dozing off halfway through the movie. At some point I woke up to the sound of quiet laughter. The guys were still awake, but their voices were low, respectful. She's out, I heard Noah whisper. Finally. She's been running on caffeine and sheer willpower all day, Liam replied. I smiled to myself, feeling a warmth that had nothing to do with the blanket. These were my friends, my people. I trusted them completely, and I knew they'd never do anything to make me uncomfortable. The next morning I woke up to chaos. The sitting room smelled like a mix of popcorn and feet, and the coffee table was littered with empty snack wrappers. Ezra was attempting to make pancakes in the kitchen with limited success. Breakfast is served, he announced, holding up a slightly burnt pancake. Looks edible, Oliver said, eyeing it warily. We spent the morning cleaning up and recounting the best moments from the night before. By the time everyone left, I felt a bittersweet pang of gratitude. This was the kind of night I'd always hoped for: fun, laughter, and a sense of belonging. Looking back, I'm glad I didn't let my doubts ruin the night. Sure, the sleepover wasn't traditional, but it was perfect in its own way. And as I stood in the now empty sitting room, I realized something important. When you're with the right people, it doesn't matter what anyone else thinks. Story 2. Just received an unsolicited spicy photo from employee, followed by an apology. What next? Hi, my name is James and I'm 32 years old. I work as the general manager at a bustling corporate franchise breakfast restaurant. Let me tell you, managing this place is not just about pancakes and coffee refills. There's always something unexpected waiting to test your patience and professionalism. This story, though, takes the cake. Or the bacon, maybe. It's one of those tales I wouldn't believe if someone else told it to me. But here we are. It was a typical Saturday evening. I had just wrapped up my weekly tasks, scheduling, inventory checks, and putting out a few metaphorical fires from earlier in the day. My phone buzzed as I was halfway through a much-deserved burger at home. Assuming it was another mundane query about shifts or supplies, I opened the message casually. What greeted me wasn't a schedule inquiry. No, it was a photo. A highly inappropriate one from one of my kitchen employees, Eleanor. She's in her 40s, a good worker on most days, and someone I'd never had issues with before. I froze. For a moment, I thought I had opened the wrong app or misread the sender's name. But no, it was definitely her. And just as I was trying to process this, another message popped up. Sorry? That wasn't meant for you. I won't be coming in tomorrow. I sat there stunned, burger forgotten. The sheer awkwardness of the situation hit me like a stack of plates crashing in the kitchen. I wasn't sure if I was more concerned about the accidental nature of the photo, her immediate absence, or what this meant for my professional responsibilities. By the time Sunday morning rolled around, I knew I had to act. Doing nothing wasn't an option. In a corporate setting, everything needs to be documented. The idea of not reporting it crossed my mind briefly, but I knew better. Protecting myself and the company was priority number one. So I drafted an email to HR. I kept it professional, outlining what had happened, attaching no evidence, obviously, and requesting guidance. I also texted my HR rep, Sophia, to ensure my email wouldn't get buried in Monday's morning rush. Sophia got back to me quickly. Her response was straightforward but thorough. 1. Meet with Eleanor but not alone. 2. Address the situation, emphasizing the risks and consequences of such actions. 3. Reassure her that the image had been deleted and was not shared. 4. Document everything in her file for future reference. 5. Make it clear that any repeat incidents would result in disciplinary action. The idea of confronting Eleanor made my stomach churn. I wasn't angry, but the situation was mortifying for everyone involved. I was also keenly aware of the power dynamics here, me being her boss, her being a woman, and the need for utmost sensitivity. To keep the meeting professional and reduce any embarrassment, Sophia agreed to join me. She would act as a neutral party and a witness. We scheduled the meeting for Tuesday morning, the first shift Eleanor was back on. Instead of meeting at the restaurant, we decided on the quiet cafe across the street. This way we'd avoid curious glances from the staff and customers. My tiny office in the back of the restaurant wasn't exactly suited for 3 people, let alone such a serious conversation. When Eleanor walked into the cafe, I could tell she was nervous. Her usual confidence was replaced with hesitation, her eyes darting to Sophia and then back to me. She probably thought she was about to be fired. Eleanor, I began, keeping my tone calm, thank you for meeting us here. I know this isn't easy, but I want to clear the air and make sure we handle this professionally. She looked down at her hands, fidgeting. I'm so sorry, James. I didn't mean to. I held up a hand gently. I understand. And I believe you. Mistakes happen, but because we work in a corporate environment, I had to notify HR. That's why Sophia is here. Sophia chimed in, her voice warm but firm. Eleanor, we're not here to make you feel bad. Our goal is to ensure everything is handled appropriately and to help you understand the potential risks of what happened. Eleanor nodded, her face red with embarrassment. I reassured her that the photo had been deleted immediately and not shared with anyone. I also explained the importance of documenting the incident, not as punishment, but as a precaution for both of us. This is just to ensure transparency and professionalism, I said. Finally, Sophia went over the formalities. We'll be placing a disciplinary notice in your file. It's not a termination notice, but it does highlight the seriousness of the situation. We also need to emphasize the risks of sending personal images. Once they're out there, you lose control over where they might end up. Eleanor listened quietly, then signed the document without protest. By the end of the meeting, the tension had eased a little. She even managed a small smile when I told her we appreciated her dedication to the team and that this incident wouldn't define her career. Walking back to the restaurant, I felt a weight lift off my shoulders. The situation had been handled delicately and professionally. Eleanor returned to work later that day, and while there was a bit of initial awkwardness, things settled back to normal quickly. I won't lie, those 48 hours were some of the most stressful I've had as a manager. But I learned a lot about navigating delicate situations, leaning on HR for support, and maintaining professionalism even in the most uncomfortable circumstances. At the end of the day, it's all part of the job. Managing people isn't just about schedules and performance reviews, it's about navigating the unexpected with grace and integrity. Would I ever want to go through this again? Absolutely not. But I'm grateful that when it happened, we handled it right. And if nothing else, I now have one heck of a story to tell, minus the spicy details, of course. Thank you so much for listening story to the end. Hope your holiday's going well with Christmas gifts. If you enjoy our videos, don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Have a good day, and if you haven't subscribed yet, please do it and hit the notification bell icon to stay updated with more shocking real-life stories happening around you.